MLS confirmed today that 6 players from FC Dallas have tested positive for the coronavirus. This ahead, of course, of the MLS is Back tournament in Orlando. Stefano Fusaro is with us, who will be with ESPN and with the players throughout this tournament. Stefano, let's start with that big news. What's the reaction been?
Well, it's been pretty interesting. MLS did finally confirm that through a statement at about 1 o'clock this afternoon Eastern time. And they said that 2 players from FC Dallas tested positive upon arriving here in the MLS bubble in Orlando, and 4 additional players tested positive in the last 2 days. Now, the big question is, what's next? They continue. FC Dallas has said that they have proactively isolated those players who tested positive in their hotel rooms. And I did speak to another player from another club that's already here in Orlando, and he says that he's really shocked that this has happened already on just day 1 of them being here in this bubble, and he said it added anxiety to an already anxious situation for all the players. So we really have to kind of see exactly how it affects them when they do start playing and training together as teams.
What's the general vibe there like?
It's pretty interesting, right? I mean, it's nothing like, it's unprecedented. We've never seen anything like this before. Walked into the hotel yesterday and it was very eerie. There's not a lot of people walking around here. We're talking about the Swan and Dolphin Resort at Walt Disney World. This is a place that is usually filled with people, hundreds of people, thousands of people walking around these grounds, and there's really not a whole lot of people here, and it really seems just awkward to be walking around not seeing a multitude of families and kids getting ready to go to Disney World. So it is kind of interesting what we're seeing.
So what happens? Are there tests every day? How is it kind of being managed?
So the process is that when you do arrive here, you immediately check in and then go to the COVID testing center here on the property. You get a quick COVID test, and you immediately have to isolate in your room for 12 hours at least. It's a quarantine. As soon as that's done, one more test the following morning, and then there's a test every other day. And that goes for myself, that goes for all the players, staff, and everybody that's here in the MLS bubble. So yes, a nasal swab test every other day. Not exactly the most fun thing to do nowadays.
No. Certainly have a lot more fun at Disney normally. So overall, how strict is the security and everything? I imagine the measures are being adhered to very, very strictly. Yeah,
it is. I mean, you do see players kind of being confined to their certain areas with their teammates. We were able to visit a little earlier a players' lounge that every team has set up. There is a maximum of 6 people allowed in those players' lounges at a time. Each team has their own. They can only visit their own. So they are being pretty strict with where players and where staff and media can go within the bubble. But, you know, there is going to be some challenges, especially when all the teams arrive. Remember, we only have about 5 teams here already, with a few more arriving today. We still have a lot more to go.
Let's talk food. How is that dealt with?
Well, it's been interesting, and I'm glad you asked me that, because I wanted to clear it up. The tweet went viral yesterday of these boxed lunches that, in reality, it's only the first day when you're quarantined here that you have to receive and have to order these specific boxed lunches that, sure, maybe aren't the best quality food that you will ever see, but at the same time, that is not what the players will be having throughout the entire tournament. Once you're out of that quarantine, you're free to order from any of the restaurants here on the property, and also you still do have that other menu for the sandwiches and dinner menu as well that MLS is providing, but it's not that boxed lunch every single day for the players, everybody.
Now, let's talk about some of the big players. Obviously, we're still awaiting the arrivals of the likes of Carlos Vela and Chicharito. They're not going to go, are they?
What I'm hearing is that there's not a good chance, maybe a 50-50 chance, that Carlos Vela will not be here. I can't confirm that, but that's what I have been hearing. There is going to be, I think there is some players that aren't exactly sure if this is the spot for them, whether they want to be here. It's obviously an unprecedented time, and you can't really blame them for some of their reasonings if they don't want to be here throughout a global pandemic.
Being English, I'm obsessed with the weather. It's very hot in Florida, even I know that, and it's like an oven, and July is very much at the peak of that time. What's it like there, and how are we going to have proper football matches in that environment?
Well, first of all, I want to thank our producer here for ESPN FC who told me it was fine for me to wear just polos and not a full suit in this absolute heat. So thank you, thumbs up for that. But yeah, it's extremely hot. It's going to be a challenge for the players. I feel like the Texas teams and the Florida teams are used to that weather, so they may have a slight advantage there to playing in that heat. But it's hot, and it's going to be hot and humid. And the only reason that we're here inside is because of that heat outside and also the threat of rain, which, of course, Central Florida, right? You can always expect that.
Yeah, of course, because obviously this is kind of the hot tropics time, the afternoon, you have the thunderstorms. How are the pitches going to hold up? And have you spoken to the players about this sort of, away from everything else that's going on, playing on these pitches in Florida in July?
Yeah, as far as, I think the players at this point, for the most part, they're just excited to get back on the field and to get back onto the pitch and be able to play matches. You have that energy that they're seeing that they just kind of want to get out to do what they do, and you can't really blame them for that. But they're going to be training in this heat, so they'll be pretty ready for it, I'd say, as ready as you can be to deal with that 95-degree heat with 95% humidity. I'm a Florida boy, so I'm kind of used to it, so I'll talk to the players, make sure that they're ready to go. Don't worry, Dan.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.